Can you use the money in your 401k to invest in a multifamily deal? The short answer, yes, but there are a few details that you're gonna need to know in order to do that. And I just helped my sister go through this exact process. And so that's what we're precisely gonna cover in today's video. Now, first things first, I'm not a financial advisor, and so you need to consult with whoever is a licensed professional that helps you with your finances before you make any financial decisions. But there are 3 different ways I found to do it, and what I'm gonna do in this video is cover all 3, plus I'm gonna tell you the one we went with. One way to do this is gonna be through a direct withdrawal, and there are gonna be penalties and taxes if you do this direct withdrawal early, and early is defined by before the age 59 and a half. Now the penalties are gonna be 10%. And so for example, let's say you take out 100,000 out of your 401k, then you're gonna forfeit in penalties $10,000. And so because it's a taxable event, there's also gonna be other tax implications. Another way to do this is also called the 401k loan, and there will be terms and conditions like with any financing, and there will be implications of that based upon when you go through the repayment process if you do a loan against your 401k. But the third, which is the most popular way, is the self-directed IRA. And as an account, this is a vehicle to make the investment. So you set up an IRA account, which is an independent retirement account. And this is good because this offers you more flexibility and control over all of your investment options. So unlike a traditional 401k, there are specific rules that you need to follow to make sure that you're doing everything right. The good news is all you got to do is talk to your provider for that. But before we get into the rest of the video, make sure you hit that like button, because if you like content like this, it does help us out. It helps us out tremendously. And also don't forget to subscribe if you want to create the blueprint to your big dreams. We actually put content out that helps everybody who wants to grow their active income, create more leveraged income, but ultimately generate passive income and live their life by strategy. And as a thank you to you for doing so, I'll make sure I get to as many comments as possible. So make sure you don't forget to comment on the video. Now, when it comes to eligibility, we had no problems actually rolling over my sister's account into an IRA. You might have challenges if it's a dormant account versus an active account, but most accounts can be rolled over. If you have any challenges, just make sure you reach out to your provider. They should be able to point you in the right direction pretty quickly. Now, the first thing you're gonna wanna be aware of is it's easier to do it with single active self-directed 401ks as opposed to a traditional IRA. Not only to avoid the duplication and fees, it's obviously easier to manage one account than it is 2 accounts. Now, some of you might have what we call as a dormant 401k from a past employer. What I tell everybody is just call your HR department. And if you don't know how to get a hold of them and you're still trying to find it, you don't know what it is, then there's a lot of really good tools and resources, 3 particular databases where you can actually search to find any old accounts you might have forgotten. I'll include 3 links to those different platforms in the description below, so make sure you check it out. Now, to initiate the rollover, you're gonna start by just telling your providers, both of your providers, that you're doing a trustee to trustee transfer, which is actually a lot easier than you think. It's not like a phone call where you're calling up your cable company and you're gonna spend a bunch of time on the phone. This is like a 4 to 6 minute phone call. They're gonna walk you through the entire process. And the good thing to know is most providers can do either electronically transfers or they can send you a check. Now, for those of you, like in my sister's case, they sent her a check. And it's good to note this, that once you started the process, you have about 60 days. So if they mail you a check in the mail, what you're gonna wanna do is once you get that check, you're gonna wanna get it to your new provider as timely as you can. You don't wanna be sitting on that check because you could incur some substantial fees for actually going over the 60-day time period. Now, if you're lucky, then you could have the same provider who is a provider for both plans. And if that's the case, then they can do that transfer internally. So what actually does it cost to roll over your account? Well, surprisingly, in most cases, to actually transfer the money, it's practically free. It's a few $100 is what my sister was out through the entire process. And that was using a third-party administrator to actually help her step-by-step go through the process. Now, there isn't about an annual fee for managing all the paperwork and bookkeeping as it relates to your investment. And I think she's paying a couple $100 a month. So she was already paying fees in her 401k. So when you take the net average, the question was it worth it? And she said, absolutely. I believe so too. But you'll need to talk to your provider and whatever company you choose to help you with that process. Again, a very easy, quick phone call, and it's worth the investment. Now, step 2 in the process is pretty straightforward. You're going to actually pick out a multifamily investment that you want to make. And now you're going to have to decide whether that's syndication, joint venture, maybe you're going to buy the whole thing on your own. Regardless, if you're looking at syndication, that's actually something that I can help you with. And if you don't know what syndication is, you can actually click above. There's a link to explaining syndication, which is where people pull the resources together, and there's a lot of great benefits. So make sure you watch that video and all the other great videos that we put out for people wanting to invest in multifamily. And while you're at it, make sure you go down into the description and get subscribed to our weekly newsletter, which is our Life by Strategy newsletter. A Life by Strategy is very simple. We've all started with active income. Some of us have leveraged income. I like to explain it, everybody's like a golf ball. Some people are in the sand trap, some people are 3 feet from the cup. What we do is we help put people on the path so that they can live their life by strategy, which is meaning doing the things that they want to do and doing them because they're living off of passive income, and specifically through multifamily investments. And so it's actually become a community where some savvy investors have invested in over 2,000 doors in 18 months and are sharing what they've learned. And there's other people who are getting into their first deal. Regardless where you are, we'd love to have you and invite you to be a part of our community. So go down to the description below. You can get registered. And remember, we curate the best content to help you get that passive income from multifamily in that newsletter. And we put that in your email inbox every single week. So if you haven't subscribed, make sure you go down and get subscribed. Now, step 3 is make the investment. And this is the easy part. We had a third party who helped us with this entire process. Again, very easy, but you're just wanting to make sure when you set up the investment, you set up that investment with the right legal structure, which is going to be the structure of this new IRA that you set up. With that being said, it's pretty straightforward.